All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the I Can Do This All Day podcast. I am Dan, the Part-Time Avenger. That is Mark, the Resident Jedi.
Hello there. Today we're here to talk about a movie made about a TV show with a hilarious comedy actor that has been in some great underrated comedy movies, and an actress that is hilarious to watch try and make serious movies. Of course, we're talking about The Naked Gun.
The Naked Gun. Good God.
The Naked Gun 2025.
Yes, sorry. The new one. And your best Liam Neeson impression. The new one. Yeah, Naked Gun 2025, directed by Akiva Schaffer. Good God, man. The Naked Gun series was such an ingrained part of my childhood. Maybe that's the reason why I have the sense of humor that I have. But holy shit, those movies were so funny. Leslie Nielsen, I would watch anything with him in it because of those movies. And I did. I watched a ton of Leslie Nielsen stuff just because, it's a guy from Naked Gun. But that's my little history with the original series. But what about you, Mark? What is your origin with the Naked Gun series?
I never saw him in theaters. It was all Leslie Nielsen, all on videotape, and all hilarious. It's a kind of movie that we just don't get anymore. We don't get like the consistent, slapsticky, constant humor. And I was excited that they were doing this.
What did you think of Leslie Nielsen being replaced by the none other than Taken, I'll kill you, and I've got a certain particular set of skills, Liam Neeson?
I knew that Liam Neeson, who shares initials with Leslie Nielsen, had some comedy chops, because if you remember, he played the Irish cowboy in A Million Ways to Die in the West with Charlize Theron, which originated from a Family Guy joke where everybody said that there couldn't be an Irish cowboy. That was funny, and he killed it in that. And I mean, I dare say he killed it in this. He has a certain set of skills, and those skills lead him to sleeper hilarity.
Okay, let's just I guess we're throwing our cards out here. So I think we both had a really good time with this, and dude, Liam Neeson is hilarious. I think I've mentioned on previous episodes before, and I know we've talked about it in conversation, but there was I don't know if it was a TV show or if it was a skit with Stephen Merchant, Ricky Gervais, and Warwick Davis. Yeah. There was a skit with Liam Neeson in it, and he's talking about doing improvisational comedy, and it's just so fucking fun.
You're thinking of Extras.
Is that what it is?
I think that's the show. It's Extras.
I believe it was a show. You're right. So yeah, it was just, his deadpan is so damn good, and I'm so glad that he sticks with it. I know he was on, I believe, either like a British or maybe it was an Australian radio show or TV show, and they were talking about him, like him and his comedic chops and his ability to just stay stone-faced. And he's like, how do you do that? How do you stay stone-faced without cracking a smile? And then just says on air, I think about my dead mother. And then the host just bursts out laughing. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. And of course, it's all calculated from him. But dude is so damn funny, so damn great. He's an action star. He's a multifaceted actor with a lot of talent. And I was pretty excited to see him in this role. There was some hubbub on the internet saying like, how can you replace Leslie Nielsen? And I thought it was kind of hilarious, the fact that he's Leslie Nielsen's son, Frank Drebin's son, Frank Jr., and he's old as fuck. It's just kind of funny to me.
I didn't realize how old Liam Neeson is. Liam Neeson is old.
Yeah.
But he's still doing it, baby.
He still is. And he's doing it with his co-star, allegedly, right? I think they went public with that.
Good for him. Good for him. Everybody needs to, every major action star should land a Playboy bunny at some point.
Any expectations as you were going into it? I mean, I was looking forward to it. I was like all in. I had no reservations whatsoever.
Oh, you were. You were very excited to see this. I'd watched these and I didn't know how they were going to execute it. And the previews for this were in every single theater that we went into up until this movie. We've seen a lot of movies in theater this year, a lot more than in previous years. And every time the trailer was different. So I kind of was worried. I had
Mm,
that worry that they busted their nut in the trailers. I'm just like, how many more jokes can you fit into 90 minutes, guys? Every 3-minute trailer is different.
yeah. I was like, damn, they're pulling out all the stops because now that I think about it, when was the last comedy movie theatrically released that was like this? And I can't remember. I cannot legitimately recall a movie like this where it was just slapstick. I mean, I think the last real big comedic movie that came out, and it wasn't. I don't know if it was necessarily slapstick. Well, I know it wasn't slapstick, but Cocaine Bear, and that was quite a few years ago. So I can't even
Yeah,
remember anything else since then.
you got to think like, what was the last Fairley Brothers movie? It was like Stuck on You
The
with
last Fairley Brothers movie, I mean Brothers movie, I can't even remember. But the last Fairley movie that I saw that I really liked was Ricky Stenicki. So
that's true. It might be.
yeah, yeah,
There you
and
go.
fucking great movie. If you
Oh
haven't
yeah,
checked out the Ricky
fucking
Stenicki
Ricky
episode,
Stenicki.
our review of that is just a good amount of fun. And yeah, go see the movie because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Ah,
It's quality.
um,
But yeah, no, something like that was just more dirty than
yeah.
jokey.
That not like this type of slapstick. Like it's
No.
been so long, and good God, I love a slapstick movie. How many times have we just cracked up just thinking about a gag or a bit from a movie? The simple,
Hmm.
stupid dialogue. It's just funny. It's heartwarming. It makes you want to just hug your family and punch them at the same time because it's all in comedy.
I mean, if y'all want to see how much we appreciate, go back and watch the Top Secret episode.
Oh God, I want to go watch it right now because it's
Ah,
like that we had such a good time reviewing that movie that it's just fun and there's just nonstop laughs. But
yeah.
is this movie nonstop laughs? Mark, I want to hand it over to you and give the audience your version of the plot.
Oh man.
The question that
This is
comes
this
up.
is hard.
No
It's
prep, no
hard
prep.
because it's just straight up dumb policeman haphazardly solves crimes and gets the girl. Hilarity ensues.
Pretty damn accurate. Oh, looking back at the plot, I can't remember what the plot was.
No, that's why it took me a minute. That's why it took me a minute. There was
I
no
can't.
driver, right? It
I
really
mean, there
was.
was a plot device that he
Yeah, the
disarmed.
the
So
PLOT device. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that
No,
was great.
that's when you knew it was time. Oh, okay. Where this is about to be one of those movies, one of those amazing, great movies. I was worried um, when when the bank robbery scene was going on, and I
You mean the
saw
first
who the
scene?
lead right, but I saw who the lead bank robber was.
Kevin Durand.
Kevin Durand has never played a particularly smart character in anything. I remember him as the Blob in the in Wolverine X-Men Origins, and I'm just like,
Uh,
oh god, if this is your main villain guy, this is very throwback 80s because they just put the doofy beefcake into the movie and they're just going with it.
he was stupid in that as well. But Smoking Aces, he was one of the
Yeah.
crazy redneck Nazi neo-Nazi boys,
Hmm.
and oh God, I like him as an actor because he always plays something menacing or entertaining. So I'm good with it, and he does have some acting range. He just he just doesn't get a chance to show it that often because he's so goddamn tall, so that he always gets cast in that type of role. But there have been some movies where he's done some range acting. But funny that you say you had a little bit of trepidation when you saw Kevin Durand, not the basketball player, Kevin Durand, the actor,
Hmm. Kevin
National
Durant's in
Treasure.
this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Chucking threes and asking to be traded.
That's
Um,
it, baby.
but but the thing that almost made me a little bit worried was this is the first scene. The bank robbery scene is the first scene. We've already seen this in the trailer, so
The
we know what's going to
100% of it.
happen. And that's where I was like, oh man, are we going to run into that trailer fatigue right now? Because did we just see all the gags? And luckily, there was a little bit more to it than that, but pretty spot on. They showed the almost the entire scene, so
But
that
we
was where
got
I
the
was a
dummy
little,
throw, like the
oh,
the obvious dummy. The word play through this scene was really solid. There were a lot of good jokes in this, and it was like sleeper jokey.
yeah, for sure. And I'm okay with that stuff because let's kind of go back a little bit. How did you see this movie? What was your theater like? Any reaction from your crowd?
I think I was in a pretty empty theater, so like six people. I saw it a Monday night at like 9:20, so there wasn't a bunch of people there.
Okay.
Um,
Any
there were,
laughs? Anything?
I mean, ish, nothing loud enough to be heard over the movie. I
Really?
guess
Okay.
there was only me and two other people that stayed for the after post credit scene and got to enjoy the credits and noticed that they should enjoy the credits. But that's
Yeah.
something we could talk about later.
Yeah. So my crowd empty, dead as fuck. I think I we went on. I want to say it was like an 8:40 in the morning movie, and because that we had to get
Why
it
you
in. We wanted
awake
to
at
make sure
8:40 seeing a movie? Who's playing a movie at 8:40 a.m.?
Cinemark, and I'm glad that they do because I had to leave for a work trip the next day, and we wanted to have a maximized day. So we're like, all right, last day of summer before Dan has to go back to on a work trip, and then really that's like the week or the week before school and everything. So like, all right, let's end summer with the Naked Gun, and so we watched it first thing, and it was just my family, so four of us, and then two other people ahead of us. And I was thinking like, oh man, this is gonna suck because either I'm gonna laugh and those people are gonna get pissed off, or no one's gonna laugh and this movie's gonna suck. And I was very happy that the people in front of me were laughing just as much as I was, and we were laughing like nice, good belly laughs. We were having a good time, sitting back, chucking popcorn down our gullets, drinking diet soda at 8:40 in the morning. It was solid. A good time, good theater ambiance for the two other people that were there. So if you're listening, and I know that you are those two mystery people, thank you for making my theater going experience something to remember.
Thank you for being a friend.
As we get into the plot and everything and the almost, will I say, like trivialities of the movie, because there's a lot of trivial shit that happens and talked about in the movie. What did you think about the cast?
I honestly thought it was a solid group of people. I liked that they had Paul Walter Hauser.
Oh, Paul
Um,
Thomas Walter Hauser,
yeah,
where you couldn't figure. It's so funny. You couldn't figure out his name on the last one too. So it was like Paul Thomas Anderson, Paul Thomas
no,
Anderson, Walter Hauser.
no.
So, yeah, dude, that guy's fucking hilarious, and I'm glad
Hmm.
that he was Ed's son because I was hoping that that dynamic was still there.
Yeah, and I enjoyed Danny Houston as a villain.
What else does he play? You know?
Another villain from the Wolverine movie.
Yeah,
But there were so many cameos in this that made
yeah.
it pretty great. How stoked were your kids to see Cody Rhodes as a bartender?
My kid didn't even realize it was Cody Rhodes. So I was like, dude, that's Cody Rhodes. He's like, what? Cody Rhodes. He just has darker hair. That's all. I was more geeked about it than he was, but it was cool. It was cool to see that. Who expected Cody Rhodes to be in a movie, anyways? Like, why? Why would he be in a movie? Like,
I,
it's not
you
like,
know, somebody paid somebody for it, but
yeah,
that was not by far my favorite cameo. I mean, Busta Rhymes was in this. All of the UFC folks that were in this.
yeah,
There was a large group, but none of them hold a candle to my favorite cameo in this movie. The one and only Weird Al Yankovic was in this movie.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that was a cameo for sure. So one of the cast members that I really, really wanted to see more of,
Don't
she
say
was
Pamela
funny in it.
Anderson.
No, 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 no. It was CCH Pounder. I was expecting her to go full on Dennis from It's Always Sunny,
Oh,
CCH Pounder. That's what I was waiting for. Like I don't know for anyone who's seen It's Always Sunny where Dennis does an impression of CCH Pounder. It's spot on. It's fantastic. I love it. I wanted to see more of that type of captain or chief from CCH Pounder and just going full on 1980s, 1990s trope police officer.
with her Stedman husband just chilling in bed.
It's so funny that they just wouldn't want to wake this guy up. There's no reason. There's no rhyme to it. It's just it's good-hearted fun. That's it.
Speaking of good-hearted fun, one of the people, Moses Jones, is listed in the cast as not Nordberg Jr. Um, like the subtle shots at the juice in this were great. Like
I
they really
wanted
leaned in to the original cast, which again they showed us in the previews, but it was one of the better jokes in the movie.
I needed more Nordberg. That's the problem. I wanted that there's the way that the other three movies worked. You've got Frank, he's the hero. Stupid, but he's the hero. And then you have Ed, who's the grounded person, but still throwing out funny lines. But then you have Nordberg in there is just like wild card comedy relief. And that's what I miss. I think it could have benefited more, but I think that Pamela Anderson was able to add to that. So I think that's part of the reason as to why maybe there wasn't a third character because she had a much more prominent role
Yeah,
in
she
this.
was the third wheel of the tripod there.
And she certainly did some shit that Nordberg probably would have done as well. Because I mean, could you could picture Nordberg doing the scat scene, right? Like it's like, oh, just
This
get him
scat
up there
scene
and
was well. So I for some reason saw an interview with her and Jamie Lee Curtis where she talked about where somebody asked her about the scat scene and she was like, "Oh yeah, no, I was in the high school jazz band and I was the scat singer and they just asked me and I just did it randomly." And Jamie Lee Curtis is like, "What? Where did this? What? Who are you?"
she's always done a good job of being able to be off the wall when needed. I don't know if you ever watched the TV series VIP
I
with
knew
Pamela
you were going to bring
Anderson.
up VIP in this.
That show was funny. I really like that show. It was like Fox Force 5 except real. Like that's
I,
that's the thing.
I will say that that was her most likable role because it wasn't as serious.
Yeah, just fucking
You
off
know,
the
it
wall.
wasn't all smolder. It wasn't all smolder like Baywatch or Barbed Wire or any of that stuff. Like they let her kind of be silly, which is I
Yeah.
think how she did such a good job on Home Improvement when she was on it,
Mm. I
right?
forgot she was on that. Holy
'Cause she
crap.
was funny and
Yeah.
she could banter with Tim. Um, but yeah, no, I think Pam's got a lot of talent when it comes to comedy. I think that there's a resurgence of Pamela Anderson, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. I was good with her and I was curious as to how they were going to make her a character in this because from the original trilogy of the Naked Gun movies, you have Priscilla Presley, who's hilarious in those movies. And but she was always that damsel in distress. I was thinking, are they really going to do that for Pamela Anderson? I don't think they will. And I think they did a good job of her also being, a force to be reckoned with, not just some damsel in distress type character. It was silly, but it was a good blend of how they rounded that character out. And I think one of my favorite scenes in that movie was just the snowman threesome with her and Frank and the snowman for
Dude.
whatever reason, whatever fucking fever dream the writers were thinking of when that came up. It's such a nice pull. It made me think of Harold and Kumar. If you
No.
remember in Harold and Kumar
Yeah.
when he marries the bag of weed and stuff, and he's like taking a sip of the coffee, like coffee tastes like shit. Learn how to make coffee, you stupid bitch. Just like smacks her ass and stuff. So funny.
All I could
Uh,
think of during that snowman scene was talk about hot frosty.
oh, are we gonna watch that for Christmas this year? Hot
Only
Frosty.
if five different people comment in the no, probably not.
Hot Frosty.
Hot frosty.
Want it. Hot
No,
Frosty.
there was some solid. Did you catch the Cosby joke during the first scene with Pam in the club where they where
Yes.
she does a spit take after the guy's like, it's from Cosby's finest
Yes.
vintage.
Yes.
Like
That
there
I
were
like
some
that
really good.
humor. I
Yeah.
like that type of humor.
Yeah, no.
Inappropriate stuff. By the way, R.I.P. Malcolm Jamal Warner. That was it happened a few weeks ago, and by the time this gets released, but I wanted to just throw out here and make it official on the podcast. Theo, my favorite Cosby kid out of all of them. From his journey from the Gordon Gartrell shirt to playing life with the Monopoly money with Cliff, if how he can live in the real world. Malcolm Jamal Warner was my favorite. Not Rudy, not Olivia, not Vanessa, definitely not Denise or Sandra. It was it was definitely Theo.
I mean, that's by default.
Unless you bring in Elvin, who is my second favorite. They always just shit on him. That was just funny. But sorry. Anyways, but back to the inappropriate Cosby joke, but totally appropriate for this movie. Loved it. Loved it.
Hmm.
There's so many good gags in this. And I don't even think that I could remember 50% of them because I was laughing so
No,
hard.
no. But there were ones that stuck out, like Clippy in the car when he's trying to figure it out. How can I help you? It's Clippy.
So the coffee cups as he's driving, just like the
He's
random
just
fucking
coffee
coffee cups
cups
and shit.
everywhere. The
Yeah.
Ponzi scheme arena. Um, Random Dave Batista when he had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. That was good. I There was one thing I did miss in this. During the threesome with the snowman.
Hmm.
Something that they always did in not just the Naked Gun movies, but I think a lot of Leslie Nielsen movies from what I can remember. There was always the body double or the cutaway of like this huge jacked ripped guy as Frank. And that's what I wanted to see during the snowman scene, because that would have made it complete. That would have made everything complete for me from a gag perspective. Is there any gags that you wanted to see again in this movie?
Like I said in the opening scene with the dummy, they went to just the cheapest practical effects um as opposed to actual special effects, or when he's just breaking all the guns, chewing them and crack.
Yeah.
It was enough ridiculousness that made it, solid.
My son was kind of bummed that the movie was PG-13. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine." Like, and because he even put that in my head. I was thinking, like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, I mean, Naked Gun was PG-13, but it was hilarious. But am I going to think differently now that I'm an adult? And it's funny that my son has that perspective of like, I don't know if it's going to be any good. It's PG-13. I don't know where he gets that from because
I
I never
wonder.
said anything.
I
No,
wonder where he gets it from.
but I've never said specifically that like, PG-13, that movie's going to suck. I've never said that, at least to him, unless he can correct me if I'm wrong. Son, comment below if that's the case. But yeah, the humor, the action, and the fucking ridiculosity of the action was pretty, on the edge. Oh, this could totally go R. If there was like an F bomb or a few more F bombs and like a little bit more blood, this totally could have been R. But they did quite a bit of stuff for this being PG-13 for sure.
Yeah, I think that's why you didn't get the cum gutters you were hoping for. and the random, random boobage or anything. I think that's how they kept it out.
Wait, did you
They kept
say
the nudity out.
say that again? What the what
You heard
gutters?
what I said. You heard what I said. It was a Rick and Morty reference.
Oh man, this movie nonstop laughs. How are you feeling throughout the movie overall? Was there anything that you kind of just stopped and was just like, not really for me?
I think that as we were getting towards the end, it was starting to get like, I mean, it was, all of them are predictable. They follow a trope, and that's fine. I I don't know. I almost couldn't keep up with the level of jokage, but that could just be because we don't get that enough. And that
Hmm.
like increases rewatchability in some cases, but also, mm, so I don't know. It slowed for me a little towards the end. It started to drag a little.
Did you expect it to rip off the Kingsmen?
Kind of. I didn't know what they were gonna do in the end. I didn't know how they were gonna resolve it.
I did
Eventually.
not see that coming. I was like, dude, they're playing off of the Kingsmen. They're basically gonna make everyone go fucking bananas.
I
I
mean,
thought we were gonna see something similar, like a Colin Firth action scene where he's just beating the shit out of everyone, which we kind of saw, but not like the same quality of
yeah.
a Matthew Vaughn action scene.
Yeah, when it got to the UFC fight thing, that's where you
Uh-huh.
lost. I was like, why are we at a UFC fight? How did this happen? I didn't like, UFC is not funny to me.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny.
Especially the UFC, and you didn't get Joe Rogan? Like, what are you doing? So many missed opportunities.
There were a lot of missed opportunities, but there's a lot of gags. I mean, you got so many different things where like the self-driving car, you've got the fucking jailbreak. This place is really going to hell. And then just the overall tone of everything, it stayed true to the essence of the original movies, but I think it stayed pretty faithful to how the previous movies were, and it gave a good amount of nostalgia for that. But is there anything else that you're kind of thinking of that maybe that you really liked, either a certain gag or a certain bit?
Not not really. I think that, I honestly, my favorite gag was the credits. When they go into the credits, they've got all these extra ridiculous credit things like tennis grips and dressings and Netflix password, and then the song that they introduced in the credits, which was a reference that that Liam Neeson had mentioned, like, oh, I wrote a song about it. I rented recording, all that. I rented a recording studio. Like, oh, they actually did that. Like, that was one of the better jokes to me in the whole movie, that they
Yeah.
actually did the song.
Yeah, that was funny. It's a nice callback to it, and the fact that he sang it, it wasn't just like
Mhm.
someone else trying to sing like Liam Neeson. But yeah, you don't see too much of that stuff anymore, and I love in credit jokes. Like that's just funny to me.
You don't
Uh,
get that though. You don't get that a lot. The only bad part about it is it made the credits, to get to the final after credit scene. It took forever,
yeah,
but they
it's
were
it.
funny. And then the
I gotta.
after credit scene was my favorite part, of course, because the greatest entertainer alive
you
now.
do you do love yourself some Weird Al.
I do love me
Uh,
some Weird Al.
I want to talk about the flip side of the coin, though. So we've been talking about a lot of laughs, but was there
Mhm.
anything that Martha you?
Nothing that made the movie terrible or that I wouldn't watch it again. Like, I felt like the jokes were stronger at the beginning than at the end, and that once we got to the parts that were really supposed to make you laugh, we'd already seen them. Like, they put too much of the good stuff into the previews and or the trailers, and I think that lost some of the
Hmm.
gusto for me, at
Okay.
least. What
Nothing
about
really
you?
Martha'd me. At the beginning of the movie, I was really disappointed that they did not do the typical naked gun, siren, car through everything. I was bummed. I was like, really? They didn't do the intro
Didn't they
like
do it at
that?
the end?
They did it at the end, but it was the same. video, I believe, from either the first or maybe it was like an amalgamation of the
Hmm.
three. But I want to say it was the second Naked Gun that they did it, which I thought was great. I'm glad that they brought that song in. I'm glad that they did the previous scene, but I wanted to see that in a new version. Like I said, didn't Martha me, but I was disappointed. Like a kid at Christmas that opened up a present that was like, "Oh, this is nice. I just kind of hoped it was something else." Like that's what I wanted to see at the beginning. I wanted to see them going through like a Subway or something like that and ordering a sandwich or whatever, just something off the wall bananas shit. And I think that was a missed opportunity. And that's about as close as I can get on being Martha. I wasn't Martha. I was just disappointed. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it was missing from the beginning. I
How did you
enjoyed
not notice? Oh man.
dude, I haven't watched a Naked Gun movie in 20 years. Um, but I enjoyed the fact that there was the voiceover in the beginning and they had the like dragnetty kind of start to it. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
solve a crime with hilarity.
And I liked how he kept those jokes. As he was doing his inner monologue,
Hmm.
he throws in an inappropriate joke. So yeah, that was all good, all good. Um, but I mean, I think let's not beat around the bush anymore. Mark, I got a question to ask you. You might be surprised by this question, but when it comes to the Naked Gun 2025, the new one, can you do this all day?
Was not prepared to answer this question. Um, Much like the plot, there's much to think about. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it all day, and I'm leaning towards no, and I'll tell you why. I don't have as much of a nostalgic love for Naked Gun that you do, and it's not quite something I could watch with my kid yet. So it may come back later, in a couple of years when he's old enough to watch stuff like that. But at that point, if I want these kind of jokes, well, I appreciate the homage and the bringing it back. Why wouldn't I just watch the Leslie Nielsen ones? So for that reason, I cannot do it all day. I do
Mm,
think rewatches would be okay. Like it would be an okay movie to rewatch. But if you're going to rewatch a movie like this in this genre, there's just so many better ones.
mm. Wait a second. We were just talking about how in the genre itself, there's nothing recent besides like
I
Ricky
don't need it
Stenicki,
to
which
be
is in the same one.
recent. Maybe it's a recency bias on my part, but let's be honest. If you had to pick between, if I said, Dan, do you want to watch Naked Gun 2025 or Top Secret? You'd watch Top Secret. If you could watch Naked Gun 33 and a third or Naked Gun 2025, you'd watch Naked Gun 33 and a third.
Mm, I would watch 2025. Naked Gun 33 and a third was my least favorite of the Naked Guns.
I don't know. If you could watch Dracula Dead and Loving It or Naked Gun 2025, you'd watch Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Probably.
So just my thoughts, as an appreciator, but not a deep lover. That's what she said. I'm going to ask you though, because of your heavy disapproval of my negative answer. It seems like we already know the answer, but can you do this all day?
This one's an easy. I can do this all day for sure. Yes, yes, 1,000% yes. Uh, because it hit all the same notes as the previous ones did. Maybe in different order, but it hit all of them. Nonstop jokes, check. Funny cast, check. Stupid but menacing, but still stupid villains, check, 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 check. Awesome cameos, checks across the board. And it's just the modern take of it was a nice spin, and the action was good. Even as silly as the action was, they had some pretty solid action scenes in there. So I was all about it. And the fact that you have Pamela Anderson in there as the Priscilla Presley character or character type, but having her own ways in influencing how the plot kind of goes on, I was great and thrilled with that. And it was just very cool to be able to see a movie with an actor that I think a majority of people really thoroughly enjoy and taking the piss out of everything. Like it's just a good, just a feel good, nonsensical movie. And I think that's what the world needs more of because we take things too damn seriously. And this movie takes comedy seriously, which is something that is fantastic. And I think everyone should really kind of at least partially subscribe to that notion that you should take comedy seriously. Because if you take comedy seriously, you will laugh, you will be entertained, you'll forget about some of the BS at work, school, relationships, whatever. And it's something that makes you feel good. And you're a person that likes to watch feel good movies. This movie made me feel good to the nines. So, yep, I can do this all day for sure.
Split again. But all
Story
your
of our
reasons are
lives.
valid, man. It is the story of our lives. The hypocrisy is strong with this one.
As it always will be.
Always. From now until forever.
But yeah, that wraps it up for another episode of the I Can Do This All Day podcast. I am Dan, the Part-Time Avenger. That's Mark, the Resident Jedi.
Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. 5-star reviews are welcome. Leave as many as you want on all of your favorite podcasting applications. And don't forget to hit us up on the socials at I Can Do This All Day podcast, wherever your socials are found.
Nice beaver. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Wear gloves.